Hi, Dr. Robert Martinez at Chiropractic Wellness Center. This is the second part of our series on how to boost your immune system naturally. As you remember in the first video that we did, we talked about the importance of regular chiropractic adjustments and their positive effects on your nervous system, and how that nervous system controls and coordinates and regulates all the other systems in your body, including your immune system. We also discussed the importance of regular sleep or healthful sleep on a regular basis to boost your immune system. We cited one study that demonstrated that if you got 6.5 or less hours of sleep per night, that those test participants were 4 times more likely to come down with a common cold virus. So by all means, make sure you're getting at least 8 hours of restful sleep throughout the week. So today we want to talk about 2 key nutrients, vitamin D and vitamin C. But before I do that, I want to clear up some confusion that can occur around using supplementation or nutrients in wellness. Because if you're like me, sometimes you read some or even heard of some studies that may have a negative conclusion or say that supplements or nutrients are of minimal effect. But there are some problems with some of those studies. And one of them is studying nutrients in an over-reductionistic model versus a holistic or a vitalistic or energetic model. But let me give you an analogy to help you understand the difference. And of course, this is a ridiculous example, but I think it'll highlight the point. If we were to try to study what makes bread and we used an oversimplification or over-reductionistic approach, we could isolate just, say, flour, water, and yeast, and we could study them separately. We could actually bake the flour at 350 degrees and come up with no bread. We could bake water at 350 degrees and come up with no bread. We could also bake the yeast at 350 degrees. Again, no bread. But if we were to take all of them together and bake them, well, then we could come up with a whole loaf. But this is an example of where the sum of the parts doesn't necessarily equal the whole. In other words, the whole is oftentimes greater than the sum of the parts, because as we know, in nature, as there is within your body, there's a synergism that occurs with different nutrients and lifestyle habits that can actually build a really strong, healthy body and therefore support a very strong immune system. So that's what we want to go after. Now, the other thing is that when we use a nutritional support approach, these type of things like nutrients, foods, herbs, homeopathics, and we use that to look at, well, how do we use these to strengthen your body and build an immune system? Well, that approach to nutrition and wellness is well supported in the scientific literature. Also, we have traditional historic evidence to support that mode of supporting your body. So clearly, an ounce of prevention is worth pounds of cure. So let's talk about these nutrients. The first one is vitamin D. Now, speaking of studies, the British Medical Journal published a great study that included over 11,000 participants in randomized clinical controlled trials that included over a dozen different countries. Now, the conclusion of this large study was that daily vitamin D supplementation was effective at decreasing respiratory infections like the flu and the cold. Now, it was a modest effect, but here's the interesting part. The participants who were deficient in vitamin D had a considerable improvement. They cut their risk of respiratory infections by 1/2. So that is significant. Now, well, how do we get vitamin D? Well, there's three ways to get vitamin D in your system. One of which is supplementation. The other one is through our foods. And the third way, I think my favorite way is actually through sun exposure and what I call sensible sun exposure. This doesn't mean burning or overexposing yourself to the sun because that has with it aging of your skin and certainly a risk of skin cancer if you're burning yourself or getting too much sun exposure. So sensible sun exposure means 15 minutes of sun exposure a day on your arms, your hands, your abdomen, and your back and legs. So, and of course, if you have sensitive or fair skin, you might want to go out earlier in the day when the sun isn't so intense. Or maybe later in the day when it's not intense. But don't wait too long because you want to use your shadow rule when it comes to sun exposure. That meaning if the sun is too low in the horizon, you may not get the effective sun dose that you're looking for to make enough vitamin D. So the shadow rule is this. If your shadow is larger or longer than your height, then the sun is too low in the horizon to get an effective sun dose. So good times in this area are, between 10 a.m. in the morning and 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So sensible sun exposure, very important. The other way you can get your vitamin D is certainly through supplementation. So 1,000 international units a day is going to be an adequate level of supplementation of vitamin D. The other way is certainly through foods. Now, great foods or good food sources for vitamin D are wild-caught salmon, mackerel, tuna, and sardines. Other good sources in your food would be beef liver and organic eggs. So those are all excellent ways to get good sources of vitamin D. Now, moving on to the next supplement nutrient is vitamin C. Now, unlike vitamin D, we can't make our own vitamin C. So vitamin C has to come through our foods or perhaps a combination of food and supplementation. Now, why is vitamin C so important? Well, vitamin C is an antioxidant. It helps protect us, especially against smoking, smoke inhalation, and other toxic substances in our environment. The other thing about vitamin C is that it's vital in the making of collagen that support our bones, cartilage, muscles, and blood vessels. Also, vitamin C helps us absorb other nutrients like iron. We also know that vitamin C is known to kill microbes. It also helps produce B cells and T killer cells in our blood, which are a key component of our immune system reactions. So vitamin C is a very vital supplement. How do we get that? Well, one of the ways, again, is supplementation. You can use, powder forms of it. You want to avoid powder forms of vitamin C that may contain a lot of sugar, because again, we know sugar is an immune suppressant. So if you do using powder forms or other forms of vitamin C, watch the sugar content so that it's not too high. But a great way, and my favorite way of getting vitamin C, is through food. Now, you're probably already thinking, when I mentioned vitamin C, you're probably thinking, I eat lots of oranges, or I'm drinking orange juice. But I caution you against the orange juice because that oftentimes comes with a lot of sugar. So if you're going to be eating oranges for your vitamin C, make sure you're eating the whole slices of oranges, so you're getting the fiber component along with that as well. But I think it might come as a surprise to you that there are 4 other foods that have much higher amounts of vitamin C per cup. So let's talk about those. I'm going to give you the top 7. Right on the top of the list is guavas. Now, guavas contain 4 times as much vitamin C than an orange per cup. So guavas are weighing in at 380 milligrams of vitamin C per cup compared to an orange, which is 96 milligrams per cup. Now, second on the list is one of my favorites is the kiwi. The kiwi fruit contains twice as much vitamin C as does an orange. And kiwis are great. I mean, you can eat them, just scoop them out and eat them like you would an orange or any other fruit, or you can slice them up. They're great in salads. So kiwi is great. Number 3 on the list is bell peppers. Now, when it comes to bell peppers, I highly recommend sticking with the red or orange bell peppers because red bell peppers contain 1.5 more times vitamin C than a green bell pepper. Also, it has 8 times more vitamin A than a green bell pepper and 11 times more beta carotene than a green bell pepper. So when you're eating bell peppers, stick with the brightly colored red bell peppers or orange bell peppers. So bell peppers are coming in at 150 milligrams per cup of vitamin C. Of course, number 4 on the list is strawberries. Strawberries are weighing in at 98 milligrams per cup compared to, again, oranges, which is at number 5 at 96 milligrams per cup. Now, number 6 on the list is papayas. Papayas are weighing it very close to how much oranges have, and that is 90 milligrams per cup. And number 7 on the list is our good old trusty broccoli. Now, broccoli comes in a little bit lower than oranges, it coming in at 80 milligrams per cup. But the great thing about broccoli, as well as the bell peppers, is that the sugar content is very low compared to fruits or oranges. So if you're really watching your sugar intake, or if you're diabetic, broccoli is an excellent choice for getting really very good levels of vitamin C into your diet and into your body. So in summary, make sure you're getting vitamin D and vitamin C in adequate levels. And also, as we talked about in the previous ones, make sure you're combining this with good lifestyle and other good food choices to make sure that you're doing everything you can to boost your immune system to be well from the inside out. Again, Dr. Martinez, and until next time, be happy, well, and God bless you and your family.